Hey guys, so I'm waiting to go back into work, and so figured I would just make this video real quick because it's something that pretty much everyone who gets into lifting or working out wants to know, especially guys. Everybody wants a good physique, whether or not you admit it. I mean, if someone said, a snap of a finger, I grant you a wish, I mean, you can just have an awesome body for nothing. You could just have it as compared to your current state. Would you want that? I mean, even if you don't care, you would still take it, right? I mean, most people would. So the point is, I actually have been lifting for over 10 years, and it's taken a lot of time and effort, and it's been a long learning curve, and I continue to learn to this day. I'm still learning. I don't ever give up learning, and I always ask questions. I always ask why. So I always hope that if you guys have any questions for me, just ask me what do I mean, why, how, what do you know, anything like that. I'm happy to answer those questions because I was there, and I still am in regards to lifting. I was there. I want to know, how do you build traps? Like, what makes you look buff? Like, how come my friend started lifting the same time as me in 9th grade, and now it's a year later, and he looks way bigger than me, and only difference is he has big traps or something like that. So I'm going to go over real quick the major keys how to have a great physique and how to look great as a guy. So basically, when you lift, right, you want to aim for aesthetics. So that basically means that you're looking for symmetry, you're looking for cuts, you're looking, mainly for balance. And that means you're going to have to work out your entire body. You cannot just choose to do arms excessively or pushing exercises excessively like chest and shoulders and stuff like that. You have to actually do your whole body. And actually, believe it or not, even if you were just to work out your legs and you didn't even touch your upper body will get better looking and actually feel better and stronger. And you'll develop a much better upper body physique just from doing legs. So, to put it in perspective, guys, there's a few key specifics that I've come to realize that you need to have if you want to actually have a eye-catching physique. You're going to need a couple things. Guys and girls, ready for this? So, okay, for this first list is going to be for the guys. That's really what this one is for. I'm a guy, so I know what these things are. Alright, so to look jacked, let's run down the list, right? How to look jacked, you're going to need to have traps, right? So that seems really intimidating, I know, especially if you just started lifting, because it goes your neck and then you're straight down like a 90-degree angle with your shoulder, right? Because you haven't built any traps yet. Well, big thing is you can do this. You just have to do your basic compound movements like deadlifts. You have to do shrugs. Make sure you're not leaning back, hyperextending your back though when you do shrugs, because you'll get a compressed disc in your spine, which I got, and I have x-rays to show that. I also have want to also preface all of this list with, guys, I'm not going to just sit here and say I understand how it feels to be really skinny or scrawny or just not have the physique that you're looking for. Maybe you have muscle, but it's just not in this shape or symmetry that you want, or maybe it's not aesthetically pleasing, or maybe you're really big and you just don't know why you don't like how you look yet, or still, and you've been lifting for 6 years, even 12 years, 20 years. Why don't you like how you look? Well, here's some things that even skinny guys, when they have these things, this is why you'll look at these skinny guys and you'll be like, wow, that guy is so small, he's so skinny, yet he looks so good. Like, his body just looks good, right? And I guarantee you he weighs way less than me. I don't even know if he lifts, right? It could be genetics. The reason he looks good is because some of these key points are evident on his body type. So let me go over them right now. The traps, right? So this is called your pectoral girdle, your shoulders, your chest, and like into your neck. That's your pectoral girdle. So if you look at a picture from somebody, just like right here, if it's shirtless and he has traps and a decent thickness in the neck, and maybe a little bit of his chest or shoulders are showing, that's pretty much going to make you look jacked. I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh, I understand what it's like to be so scrawny, and scrawny, like really almost underweight, emaciated looking. Like, everybody always tells you, wow, go lift or go eat more. Like, people are always telling you that, and it drives you crazy. It starts to take a toll. It's annoying. It's a similar kind of thing to calling somebody fat their whole life, except that it's more socially acceptable because it basically people are like, oh, well, I'm not calling you fat, so get over it, right? Just go eat more. Like, you know, you should go eat 5 pizzas, you're so skinny. And you're like, oh, I eat so much, you have no, and they just don't even, they're already walking away because they just don't care because they're being rude. Well, anyway, I actually want to show you a couple keys that will help you get that physique as fast as possible, okay? One, you're going to want the V taper, so to speak. If you have a boxy body type, I have a pretty boxed torso. However, with lifting, I've been able to cause it to have more of a illusion of a V, which is done by doing pull-ups. Okay, pull-ups are huge for building your back and your shoulders and your V taper. Pull-ups, pull-ups, pull-ups. Body weight is fine. Just do them good form. Squeeze and stretch. Squeeze and stretch. Keep the tension. Use your lats and your back muscles to pull, not your biceps, and you will grow. Do it, do it, do it. And always aim for at least 40 pull-ups per lifting session whenever you hit back or you're doing pull-ups that day. Make sure at least 40. So you can do sets of 10, sets of 8, make it happen though. What else helps with the V taper? Having shoulder caps, delts, right? So building up those delts, building up the front, side, and back head of the delt. The deltoid has 3 heads, and the deltoid is the shoulder cap muscle. It almost looks like shoulder pads, so to speak, right? So if you have a cut here, then it's gonna make your arm, your body just look more broad and more of a V taper. It's just gonna look better. Let me get into, you are gonna need to work your traps. You're going to need to work your upper chest, your whole chest really. But and I'm gonna go over quite a few on this list. It's really only like 5 or 6, but it's gonna sound like a lot. However, it's really not if you consider the grand scheme of all the things you work out. It's not crazy. These are the keys, right? The absolute keys. So traps, chest, and shoulders we went over. We didn't really hit chest, but yeah, upper chest helps a lot with that pectoral girdle and that illusion there. Another thing, your rear delts. While we're talking about shoulders, the rear delts are part of the big reason a lot of these guys who look amazing from behind, their back, their shoulders, you're like, man, how does his shoulders look so boxed and like rounded or cut? Hit the rear delts. I like the cable crossovers where you go from about here and you keep your elbow locked and you're pulling and you're using the rear delt only, not really your back muscles, okay? Do those both arms at the same time and you will see some results at least. So I like them a lot. But that's a key, is the rear delts. So like you look at someone like Adam Levine, the lead singer from Maroon 5, right? The guy's scrawny as all get out, but the reason that he looks appealing to ladies from reverse is because his rear delt is pretty well developed, and that's a big thing. And for that also to be attractively developed, you could still be hunched forward and have a big rear delt. It won't look good. You need to bring your back muscles into play, so you need to be doing rows, pull-ups, all of that to make sure that your pectoral girdle is sitting in a neutral position. The next one is wrist extensors. So that's the muscles on the top of, let me see, the top of your wrist. So from, you know, you hear about wrist curls, you know, this one is going to be for the wrist extensors, the forearms. One of my favorite thing is called pro gripping an easy bar and then curling it. Okay, so what that means is instead of when you're bicep curling, grabbing underneath the bar like this, it means you're going like this, which is called a pronated grip. This is supinated. Imagine carrying a bowl of soup. Supinated. This is pronated, like pro basketball player. Pronated grip. So it's a pro grip for short. You grab that barbell, pro grip, and you do your curls like that, right? And you're doing that, and it's causing. Make sure also you can even at the top of the rep you can kind of like squeeze those wrist extensors, and if you do a couple sets of your curls like that, you're gonna love it. You're gonna feel it too. Okay, so those are the 3 biggest ones in my opinion: is your traps, right? Your traps, rear delts, and your wrist extensors. And you can be scrawny, and I mean scrawny. If you have traps, at least somewhat, right, to where they kind of go up a little bit, and it's hard. Like genetically, I don't have traps. I have to work so hard. You have no idea. I have to do all the lifts, deadlifts, pulling, squeezing, different variations of shrugs, and using straps so that my grips aren't coming, my arms aren't coming into play. Just using my upper trapezius muscles to pull the weight, and they still have trouble growing. But hey, you know, yep, that's the whole list. Okay, so it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Traps, chest, shoulders, wrist extensors, and rear delts. Let's run down the list again. Traps. Do barbell shrugs on the Smith machine. You need to use wrist wraps properly to train yourself not to pull with your arms or bend at your elbows. Make sure your wrists are locked, like sturdy, but don't be pulling the weight with your grip at all. Use just your back, and you will have to use probably less weight, and you'll notice it immediately. I always was like, I don't need straps, I'm just gonna build up my grips. Yes, that's good for things like deadlifts and everything, but for rowing and for shrugs and stuff, I'm learning. Another thing is then the next on the list is chest. Okay guys, do compound motions for a long time. Don't overdo the weight. Look, try to get in between 6 to 8 reps for like 4 or 5 sets, you know, for flat bench and incline bench press. You want to do these are the keys. These are going to help you grow and build that foundation. Okay, if you're just starting lifting, you're in high school, you just started lifting like 3 years ago or however old you are. If you are new to lifting, even just a year old into lifting, don't start doing like all these like crazy heavy drop sets where you're only, the last couple reps you're only able to press it once because it's like, you know, way higher than your body weight and this and that. It's unnecessary. Especially if you're under 20, don't do that. It's just going to hurt your joints in the long run and actually hurt your potential down the road. Trust me. You could tweak stuff. It's just not worth the injury. I love for chest doing dumbbell press. Okay, dumbbell bench press and dumbbell incline press is a key. I love doing that on a lower level incline. Don't go to 45 degrees. Make it a little lower. That's another tweak I've been learning. Shoulders, obviously I do dumbbell shoulder press. Make sure to have perfect form on those. And I can make a video on all these exercises so you know exactly how to do them too. Let me know in the comment section if you guys would like to see that. I'd be happy to make any kind of instructional video for these exercises. Another thing is the pro grip too. Make sure your thumb is over the bar, not under, over the bar when you grab that thing and pull up, because that's going to make those wrist extensors work. And that's pretty much it, guys. Let me know if you have any questions and I'll be happy to go over all of the comments and just answer all your questions about these things, and I'll have more videos coming out soon, so that's what's coming up, and stay tuned.